Back pain on a triathlon bike is a common complaint amongst triathletes. After all, nobody's ever held a plank position for several hours and said,
"This feels so good."
But what can we do to get rid of the pain, or at least minimize its effects on our rides? Let's go over a few of the common causes and exercises to do just that. It shouldn't come as a surprise that we're starting with bike fit. You could have the strongest core in the world, but if you're spending several hours in a biomechanically poor position, it could wreck your back and your day. If you think your bike fit is off, I usually recommend going to see a medical professional who has a bike fit certification, preferably someone like a PT who understands pain and biomechanics very well. But if you've already done that, or you don't have the money, and you feel pretty confident in your ability to tinker with your bike yourself, you can give it a shot. The ideal bike fit should have you feeling stable in the saddle and light on your hands, whether you're on the handlebars or an aero. This will help decrease the amount of load on the muscles in your low back by eliminating any excess movement. But how can you tell if you're in the right position? Here's a test to help find out. Start with your bike on a trainer and your hands on the handlebars. From here, try to take your hands away without moving your upper body. Do this while pedaling and not pedaling. This will check the stability of your pelvis on the bike and try to hold it as long as you can. It'll be more difficult on a tri-bike versus a road bike due to the shapes of the bike, but it should still be doable. Aim for a goal of about 30 seconds. If you fall almost immediately, there's a good chance your saddle position is not ideal for your body type. If you make it to 15 to 20 seconds though, you might benefit from some core strengthening, which we'll cover in a little bit. The first fitting tip we'll go over is if you have saddle tilt, you might want to try tilting it back up a few degrees. Now, obviously the reason you have saddle tilt a lot of times is to help prevent groin pain when you're in aero. So to help combat this, also raise your aero bars up a few millimeters to compensate. The next aspect we'll go over is saddle height. If you notice your hips shifting a lot from side to side while you're riding, whether you're holding on to the handlebars or an aero, chances are that your saddle is too high. You want your position on the bike to have a slight curve in your pelvis, and at the bottom of your pedal stroke, you want to keep a slight bend in your knee. If you're missing either of those two things, try lowering your saddle height a few millimeters. Now, if you do this, you might also want to lower your handlebars slightly to compensate for the new position. Now, if you fix your saddle height and you're still having pain, especially while in an aero, there's a chance that your saddle may be too far backwards. The reason for this is that when you reach for your aero bars, you have to overextend your back to get to the right position, and your pelvis will be hyperextended as a result, causing your hips to be jammed up and your low back to compensate for the loss of motion. So from here, you want to have a slight downward curve of your pelvis to have your back in a relaxed motion and so that your glutes can be utilized. Try moving your saddle forward. Now, if everything in your saddle has been accounted for, two other reasons that might be causing your back pain are one, the Q factor of your bike pedals, aka them being too close together, could be causing your knees to kick out and cause that same rocking of the hips that I was talking about earlier. Or two, your cleats being too far forward, which you'll notice especially when you're climbing hills. You're going to drop your heels and your hips are going to shift side to side because the cleat is too far forward. So now that we've accounted for everything in the bike fit, if you're still having back pain, chances are it's just due to muscle fatigue, due to longer rides, or core weakness. So let's go over a couple exercises to help with these issues. The first exercise we'll go over is lumbar hyperextensions. Now, I have this jerry rigged up at my home, and you can find the right machine for this at most local gyms. What you're going to do is lock your feet in place, put your hips at the top of the bar, and then you're going to allow your back to bend, come back up to neutral, and squeeze your butt. Okay, repeat this nice and slow for 3 sets of 5. As you get better, you can work your way up to 3 sets of 10. This works with spinal erectors in your back, which are the muscles that help keep you stable while in aero on the bike. Next, we'll go with reverse crunches. Start laying on the ground, holding on to something overhead to stabilize you, and your legs straight. From here, bend your legs up, then curl up, and try to touch your toes to the thing that's stabilizing you. And then slow and control back down. Touch here, and I slowly straighten back up. After 3 sets of 15, with about a minute break in between sets, this will work your hip flexors and your core, both of which help keep you stable in the bike and aero. Next, we'll go over double and single leg squats. Start with a weight in front of you held close to your chest. That'll make this challenging after 10 reps. From here, do a double leg squat, spread your feet slightly wider than shoulder length, and lower yourself down as much as you can. It is okay for your knees to go past your toes, but try to keep your heels on the ground. Again, aiming for 3 sets of 10, should be challenging after 10 reps, and doing a 60 to 90 second break after each set. After that, doing the single leg squats. You can start with a platform to help you get you the idea of the right depth. Put one leg slightly in front of you. Do this with no shoes. Lower down, tap the platform, and back up. Notice I'm not sitting, I'm just tapping. Again, aim for 3 sets of 10. This works your glute strength, power, and stability, which are those hip muscles that are shifting while you're riding on the bike. Now, here's a bonus tip if you're experiencing one-sided back pain during your rides. Have you ever been told that you might have a leg length discrepancy or that one leg is longer than the other? Well, chances are your bones aren't actually different lengths. What's usually happening is that the muscles that are tightening up in your back are pulling your leg up higher and giving the impression that one side is longer than the other. So here's 2 exercises that can help with this. First, we'll go over book overs by the wall. Put a pillow by the wall and put the knee closest to the wall down on that pillow. From here, put both arms right in front of you and open up, trying to keep your back flat against the wall as you reach towards back around. Repeat this for 3 sets of 15. And then repeat with the arm closest to the wall and reach across this way. And back around. Repeat this 3 sets of 15 on each side. Next, we're going to do standing sideways. Start by a wall and place your arm closest to it, straight against it. From here, spread your feet about shoulder width apart and reach the other arm across and try to touch the wall. You can shift your hips towards the side of the arm that's reaching. You should feel a good stretch along the side that's reaching towards the wall. Repeat this for 3 sets of 15 on whichever side is bothering you. This should feel like a good stretch. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. My name is Connor Ganser, Doctor of Physical Therapy, signing off.